Welcome to the Pink Lady Posse podcast, where women over 50 take a fresh look at living, toss out tired stereotypes, and say a big heck yes to what's next. I'm your host, Sandy Parker, and around here, we challenge limitations, rewrite the story on aging, and reclaim our power, pleasure, and purpose. Why? Our next years are not about a decline. They are our big reveal. Let's go. Hey everybody, I'm Sandy Parker Martinez with Pink Lady Posse, and I'm so happy to be with Gabriella. Is it Cote or Cote?
It's Cody. It's
Okay,
Cody.
I thought so.
Yeah.
It looks too French, So I met her on a Zoom, and I'm on Zoom a lot, and I was just listening and listening, and I heard what she said, and I, I took a double take. So I invited her to be with us, and we're going to have a conversation about being the creator of your life instead of inheriting what somebody decides to give you. So welcome, 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 Gabriella.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I feel very honored.
Well, you're a witness of exactly the thing I'm talking about, which is at any moment, your creation of who you are is up to you, right?
Absolutely.
We're not
Absolutely.
victims, we are creators or mini creators. And so tell me first a little bit about you, like what's your background and what matters to you before CrossFit?
Oh, wow. Actually, what mattered to me before CrossFit was work. So I'm a Jersey girl, moved to Vegas in 2002, had the background of being many hats. I was a commercial electrician's apprentice. I was in the military for many years. I was got out as a staff sergeant and came to Vegas like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And went into weddings. So I was in the wedding planner for the Rio Chapels. Yep. And for Caesar's Palace, I was a catering manager over there and I did all the wedding receptions over there. So my work schedule was 80 hours a week. I didn't know what holidays were. So therefore, at that time, I was just trying to survive, no sleep, eat whatever I could. I met my husband, thank goodness, because he saved my life in 2011. We got married and things shifted at that point. So it was no longer me doing whatever I wanted to do. And I love the experience of working for Caesar's Palace. Is probably the best education I've ever had when it came to hospitality, but it probably was also the worst time because I really wasn't taking care of myself.
So you get married,
Mhm.
life changes. So
Yep,
now you have to sort of recreate an identity.
pretty
You're not a
much.
wedding planner, you're now married. What was
Mhm.
that like?
It was really great. My husband is such, I married him for his brain, by the way. Um, his name is Don. And he actually showed me that there's more to life than just work and making money. After a while, the money's just making you, and you just work, work, work. If it wasn't for him showing me life balance and that there is such a thing, I would have never known it. And so it was quite a transition. I fought him a lot about no, 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 I've got to get this done. No, 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 I've got to get that done. So but he always was my champion. He always had my best interest at heart and was a priority for him. And that helped me see a different side to things. And if I wanted to spend that time with him, I had to say, or to at least put up boundaries as far as work is concerned and say, no, not doing that today. I'm going to spend time with my spouse and start taking care of myself because he wanted me to be around for a long time. I was like 200 pounds back then.
Okay,
Yeah.
before we get to the reinvention that's coming, which is amazing, I want to look for just a minute at what is it that happens to us when we maintain a way of doing things that really doesn't work, right? Like, are we sleepwalking? Are we on RoboCop? What happens when you year after year work, work, work? Like, how is it that doesn't occur to us at that time? What do you think about that?
we're zombies then. We're just on that, like, I could just see the people getting off the train and they're just don't even have to look up. They just go to wherever their destination. You're not even looking around. Has anybody drove in their car to a destination, have no idea how they got there? It happens to us on a daily basis. And that's where I was. It was just get up, work, repeat, the whole thing, not even sleep. I can't even put sleep in there. And you just get on that same thing of doing it. If nothing happens in your life to knock you off that track, you just keep repeating the same thing. And everyone else is doing it as well around you. So you think it's just the norm. In fact, is to you or to myself at that time, it would not be the norm if I wasn't doing that. If I wasn't on that, the conveyor in the airports where you just stand on it and it just takes you wherever you need to go and you don't have to think about anything.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things I'm looking at in terms of Pink Lady Posse, in terms of my life, the difference I want to make. I want to be a wake-up call. And I mentioned to you earlier this, I said this out loud and it shocked me. It was the sentence, I feel like I'm backstage in a life I used to star in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did I get here? I'm just going through the motions, and it didn't occur to me until I said that sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sister, wake up, sleeper. I got to break out of this monotony of dullness and sameness. And so, actually, that is a big move. So,
absolutely.
And even talking to you right now, I'm experiencing this feeling where, okay, sister, you sit in this chair all day on Zoom. Any minute you could decide to be healthier, right? Just your presence is reminding me at any moment I could be healthier. I could choose to be healthier. But if I'm not, now I'm curious why not. So I want to ask you about your aha moment when you decided I want to be healthier.
My aha moment was when my doctor told me he was going to put me on blood pressure medication because I was overweight. I was huffing and puffing, walking up the stairs. Even Don asked me, like, are you okay? Like, were you running up the stairs? I said, no, I was just carrying my purse up the stairs. So when I started going back and doing my checks with the military at the VA hospital, I found that, and at that time, I believe I was 47-ish, I believe. And I said, I got to do something. I don't want to be that person. And I want to be here for him. Another thing is Don and I were at the Bellagio. Bellagio has this beautiful conservatory. And we went to look at it. I think it was during the Christmas time, and it's just beautiful. And we left the Bellagio. We were walking down the sidewalk, and they were letting people off the bus. And this particular bus, everybody got off, and I saw the bus driver go out, and he's getting all the scooters from either in the front or on the side. And we're watching people as they're walking with their spouses. And there are people that were using walkers, and then you have the scooters. And him and I just looked at each other like, honey, when we go to retire and we're traveling, what are we going to be in? Are we going to have walkers? Are we going to have scooters? How are we going to hold each other's hands? And that was it. I'm like, we got to do something. We're both overweight. We're just sitting here going out to eat, and we could be doing so much more. But I think that was the day that really resonated the most with me. And I said, I have to make a change.
And you did.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So now tell me the next steps, because you didn't go from where you were to ultimate health in one move.
No, it was a process. So the first and foremost is I wanted to learn everything that I knew in my head that, yeah, I needed to be more active. I was already running a little bit, but it wasn't that much. And I said, well, first things first is probably nutrition for me. So I said to him, I said, this is what I'm going to do. And it's going to be crazy, honey. I'm going to become a personal trainer. At 200 pounds, I said, I'm going to learn everything there is to know about fitness and nutrition. And he just looked at me and he said, okay, how much does that cost? I said, the course costs this, and I'm going to do one better for you, honey. I'm actually going to get a part-time job working in a gym and study to become this trainer so that I can immerse myself in the environment, see if I'm making the right choice. Crazy, right? Crazy. But I did it. I actually went for an interview at an Anytime Fitness on Windmill. And I walked in and talked to the general manager, and he said, yeah, you could be the assistant manager and work on the days that I'm not here. And you basically take care of the gym. And I did. And I studied. And I told him, like, I'm studying to become a trainer. So I'm going to sit there and just be a sponge. And I, at that time, was like in my late 40s. And my husband was like, I'm here to support you, honey, whatever you decide. And I did. So I had my full-time job and part-time working in a gym, picking up, watching the other trainers, talking to them, studying, asking them questions, watching how they work with people. Yeah. And my manager to this day was like, I remember, like, I was overweight. There was no way people were going to take me seriously as being a trainer. There was no way. I did not look the part at that time.
Okay. Brilliant. I hear immersion. I hear learning.
Mm-hmm.
I hear accepting yourself in the imperfect state.
Mm-hmm.
I hear realistic.
Yep.
I mean, every one of those words I just said is mind-blowing because any one of those is a topic you could study, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any self-doubt or any judgment or you just were all in?
Oh, totally I had all of that. I had all the self-doubt, but I was going to do it anyway because I needed to make a change. And I knew it. And even to this day, even Don will attest to this. I used to say, oh, I don't look like everybody else. I don't feel credible. I always had the imposter syndrome. Even when I became a trainer and started, you always have that self-doubt. And I was older. I wasn't young. I wasn't 20-something-year-old. Here's like, who's going to take me seriously? This old lady trainer trying to show me how to do things. So it was every day. I always had that self-doubt, but I'm like, you know what? I know I'm going to trust the process. And if you want it bad enough, no matter how much, the obstacles, people's judgment, other people's judgment, your own self-judgment comes into play, you got to trust the process, and your why has to be bigger than all of it. Why am I doing this? And first and foremost, it was to be a healthier version of myself. That was first and foremost. So I plugged along.
Okay. And now I'm getting my own wake-up call. I'm like, oh man. So along the way, you become a trainer.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened with CrossFit?
So along the way, our daughter comes to visit us from Iceland. I was stationed in Iceland. I have two beautiful children from my ex Icelandic husband, and she came to visit me. And we have a great time. She's here. We're celebrating her birthday and everything like that. And she says, Mom, have you ever heard of this CrossFit thing? And I said, what's that? What are you talking about? So we look it up. She says, this is the biggest rage in Iceland. So this is back in 2016. And I said, that's nice, Erica. I like working out in the gym, and that's too much. It looks too extreme for me. She says, oh, okay. So Erica leaves, goes back to Iceland, and I'm like in my head looking at this CrossFit thing, and I go to Groupon, and they have a Groupon for CrossFit for a foundations class. And I said, I'm going to take it. I'm going to find out what this CrossFit thing. Had no idea. It just looked like boot camp to me.
You are so brave. I'm like, it does look like boot camp. Hey, by the way, thank you for your service.
Thank
You
you.
know, and it does sound like boot camp.
My husband thought I was crazy. I'm like, honey, it's $25. I could go to class 4 times. It's so cheap. Let me just try to find out all there is about it. And I go. And it was so hard, but I was in foundations class. So it is the very basic movements of CrossFit.
Like, what
So
is that? What would be the
so
foundation?
so foundation movements is how to do a squat, how to do even from the basics of doing a proper push-up and working with a barbell. And oh my gosh, we have so many different movements in it, from doing deadlifts and just being mobile. So at the beginning, it kind of slows you down because you have to get into certain movements. You have to learn how to use a barbell. So it's the basics of CrossFit, and every CrossFit box does this and teaches you. But I became a junkie. I wanted more. I'm like, this can't be all it. I want to get in with the big boys. I want to work with the rest of the class. I don't want to be in this class anymore. so once my Groupon was done, I found a CrossFit box that was within walking distance of my apartment at the time. And the rest is history. I started CrossFit that year later at 48. 48 years old, I started CrossFit. And yeah, it's it's my therapy.
I'm stunned. I'm like, okay. So all I know of CrossFit is those pictures where people are standing on the ground and then they hop up to something that looks 6 feet tall and they can do it. I'm like,
Yep.
okay. So I need to gather myself because I'm so astounded with you that I'm like, I want to ask good questions.
Okay.
Like, how many other women your age are in CrossFit?
So let me tell you, and I find CrossFit inspires me each and every day, because one thing about CrossFit, there's no such thing as age. There's no such thing as gender. We show up no matter if you're a man, woman, 20, 16, 71. We're all going to do the workout and we're going to do it together. And we're going to make some different modifications based on not your age, but based on, hey, what's your capacity? Are you a beginner? Are you an elite athlete? Are you have suffering from some injuries? What are your concerns? Well, what humbled me was just recently, even though I've been doing this for years, the CrossFit Games was going on. It's a huge competition that we have once a year that CrossFit does. And they happen to have the 71-year-olds, women competing. And men, I watch the men as well. And I'm watching them and they do this little video showing them running a 5K. They show them doing lifting. And I had to look at their shirts to make sure, like, what age are we sure? 70s. It was 70 to 75 age group. And I was just humbled because they're moving. And it was the new category for them to have the 70 plus. And I'm like, okay.
70 plus? How is
70
that possible?
plus. And they were killing it. I'm like, I'm going to grow up and be them. Because age doesn't really matter. Age doesn't matter one bit. Not in the CrossFit world.
Okay. So I'm astounded. I told you that. All right. So you're in CrossFit how often a week?
I can go anywhere depending on my schedule, because I coach CrossFit 4 days a week.
Tell me the story. I want to know.
I've always wanted to get my level 1. And level 1 is the very first course that they teach. And it's not for you to become a CrossFit coach. It's for you to know more about CrossFit and find out the methodologies behind CrossFit, all of the culture, the different foundational movements that people should be learning. And it pretty much, it's like drink the Kool-Aid. And I drank the Kool-Aid that day. And I'm like, this is it for me. I saved for this course. And I bugged my husband every single year. I'm like, I want to be a level one. I want to be a level one. I want to take this course. And I did. After I took that course, it really motivated me and inspired me to become a coach. I'm like, I want to coach CrossFit. I never, ever thought I could say that or even do that. That was so far because number one, I'm older. So I became a level one. I'm 57, becoming a CrossFit coach. But that was one thing that I never doubted. I never doubted that I couldn't coach because of how the members make you feel, your colleagues, your other coaches make you feel. They make you feel like you can do anything in the world. It's probably why I've stuck with CrossFit so long, is because even the basic moves like a squat, actually being able to do one in a proper form was like a jumping moment. There's moments in CrossFit that you're like, I can't do that. I can't do that. And then all of a sudden you're doing it. And you may not do it the next day. You may not do it the next month, but you may do it the next year. And you're just like, yes, yes, I did it. And coaching was the next step for me. And I had a great opportunity at Branded One CrossFit here in Vegas. The owner believed in me. His name is Nick McCombs. He believed in me and he said, let's see what you got. And he helped me, he coached me, and he showed me, this is, what you can do to be a coach. This is the process. This is the procedures. If you do this, but he said the main thing that he wanted me to do more than anything was have a positive attitude and bring enthusiasm each and every day when I see those members. That's all he asked me for. And I did it. And I volunteer my time to do it. And it's probably, well, one of the best decisions was to marry my husband, but CrossFit and coaching, second best.
Okay, so this isn't just about CrossFit.
Oh, no.
This is about being a coach, which I'm a coach for attitude of being unreasonable and unapologetic.
Love that.
Because I'm 69, right? Like I could easily say I'm a has-been. I'm not a has-been, I'm a will be.
Absolutely not. Yes.
Right? And so my question is, what will I be? It's up to me. So you're a coach. You encounter people all the time that are beginning something. What elements of newness, when something's new, what do people need to stay true to it? I heard you say that your coach believed in you, which is huge. Could you have done it without a coach believing in you?
No.
So A1, get a coach.
Yeah.
Make sure they believe in you.
Yes.
And then you see people now stepping into this newness. And what do you do, or what do you see that makes it possible for them?
Support. And support doesn't only come from the coaches. For a lot of new people, it comes from other people being in class, because when they're greeted, we say hello, we try to find out all about them. What made you come to CrossFit? Why CrossFit? Like, we're so nosy, but we're also very community based. So we help that person survive class, number one, without injury. And we just want them to embrace their fitness, because yes, you may not be a CrossFitter or have to have that title, but if you're about improving anything physical, health-wise, mentally in your life, we're all about it. So we gravitate to new people and we help them, and we say, oh, you're coming back tomorrow? We cheer them on, even though they may feel like I'm doing the worst. I'm behind. I'm the last person. We will cheer you on, because you know what? You showed up. That's what we care about. You showed up where a lot of people did not. So good for you.
So I was just reading this morning about the impact of not belonging. And I say connection isn't cute, it's critical. Because isolation and withdrawal has such devastating effects on our health and our mindset and our will to do more and our belief even in our smallest self, much less that bigger self. And I love what you're saying about the pull of community, the pull of are we going to see tomorrow?
Mhm.
I mean, who wants to leave that and not come back?
Exactly. Exactly.
And then, so someone starts something new. There's community. There's the pull to believe in you. Then comes, I would think, an arc of keep going,
Mhm.
right? Like you see those stages, right, where they're new and then they're going, and then there's a stage of, am I doing this? Am I going to keep doing this?
Mhm.
Tell me about that. Tell me about what you see as a coach.
The main thing of CrossFit and why it has become so popular and has been around for so many years is CrossFit's measurable. So you always see your progress. You may feel like you're not making progress, but then all of a sudden we remeasure you in a particular workout, whether it's a benchmark or a hero, where you might have been slower the last time, and then all of a sudden you're a lot faster. Or you might have lifted maybe 20 pounds in your deadlift or something like that. Next thing you're lifting heavier. And you're just like, oh my goodness, I'm making progress because we do this almost every single day. There's never the same workout, never the same workout. So we are testing you almost every single time, and everything can be measured. We keep all of our measurements with our apps, and your coaches, the coaches can see, the members can see, like, man, you really nailed that. That's fantastic. How did you learn how to do that? And people are starting to ask you, and you just show up, and everybody's like, you get your fist bump at the end of class because you made it. The coaches will always tweak you a little bit just to get you to where you need to be, so you can see for yourself how great and amazing that you're becoming.
And the word you used, was it trackable?
Scale, yeah, like measurable.
Measurable.
Mhm.
I think that's interesting because if you don't have a way to measure,
Right.
you don't know.
Exactly.
I was talking to a lady yesterday who was a Mary Kay leader for 30 years. And now what she does is she provides support for women with trackable results weekly
Mhm.
and celebration of wins.
Absolutely.
But if you get in that, it's like going in a pool and you start in the shallow and you start getting into the deep and you go, it's sort of a nebulous, where am I if you're not tracking anything? Because
Mhm.
you don't even really know.
It's
So
true.
you measure results, you tweak it,
Mhm.
you don't become perfect in a minute.
Nope.
You're surrounded by people who are watching you, watching your progress, reminding you of your progress, probably. How big is that?
It's huge. It's huge. Like today they were doing front squats. And I asked them who PR'd, which means that you got a personal record, right? You did better than your last time. And they're like, oh, I think I PR'd today. What do you mean you think? You either did or you didn't. Did you? Yes, I did. Well, then you know what that means. You got to ring the bell. You got to write that up on the board. We celebrate those moments. We celebrate it. No matter the increment, it could be 5 pounds, it could be 2 pounds. We're going to celebrate it. That's a PR. You did it. Yeah.
I'm feeling my heart open, right? Like I had knee replacement surgery, actually both knees. And I've always been afraid of curbs because, and you mentioned this, I was on a scooter for 20 years, right? Had my knee replaced, and I look at a curb and go, I can't do that. I cannot step up on that curb. Don't make me. And so I went into rehab, and she had this platform, and it was about 6 inches. And she
Mm-hmm.
goes, okay, step up. And I went, I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. And I left rehab that day feeling defeated.
Oh.
And I came in the next day and she said, step up. And I went, all right, all right. I didn't like the way yesterday felt. I'm going to try it. And she put the handrails there. So if I was falling, and I did it. And I didn't react at the moment. I just said, oh, I did it. And, but she said, your knee was ready, but your brain was not.
Yep.
I had to go home and get myself situated. Okay, sister, are you going to be, I can't do it, I'm not going to try? Or are you going to be, I'm at least going to try? And when I got in the car, oh, I started crying. I'm like, I did it, I did it.
Mm-hmm.
It was so awesome. But I'll tell you
Isn't that
what,
an
day
awesome
before I was
feeling?
like, I can't do it, I'm not doing it. And of course, in physical rehab, if you say you're not ready, they don't push you, right?
You're right.
They nudge you, but if you say no, they're not going to make you. But I remember thinking, I stepped, even this morning at CVS, I thought, oh my gosh, there's a curb. I'm going to step up on it and say, I step up on curbs. Like
There
it's
you
still
go.
a thing, right? It's still in my head
Absolutely.
and I'm fine. But the legacy of not fine or the legacy of where I'm from can rule me.
Mm.
Or I can say, today's the day to be different. And it can be today, like today, I could say I'm walking today.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably will now that I've met you because I'm inspired to believe in something I don't yet have.
Yeah,
But
I
you
love it.
came up with that by yourself, seeing the scooters and not holding hands. And you said, I don't know where I'm going exactly, but it isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
So the pain of things staying the same
Mm-hmm.
is a wake up call.
Yeah. And
Now,
saying and being afraid, living in fear. That's no, no, I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to live in fear. And even to this day, like I'm like, okay, what can I do today? Like I just told my husband, I'm like, hey, High Rocks is coming in February, honey. I think I'm going to do that. He's like, what did you do?
okay, so let me just ask you this question.
Yes.
Knowing where you've come from, how does it feel to be you right now?
It feels amazing. And I'm not, I mean, that sounds so like, I don't want to sound cheesy, but I'm going to tell you,
No,
I
I'm asking
feel,
you.
I feel much better now than I did in my 20s. So when people say, oh, what year would you go back to kind of relive? And I'm like, maybe 50. Because my 20s sucked. And my 30, I think 39 was maybe my best year, 39. But as I get older, I embrace it. When I turned 55, that was a little sticky for me. I'm like, ooh, 55. But 57, now I'm sitting there looking forward to like, oh, okay, in 3 years, I'm going to be 60. What can I do at 60? That'd be fun. That'd be cool. How much can I lift by 60?
So the
Yeah,
other thing I'm hearing is, I don't know if it's self pride, but it is self acceptance in the most glorious way. When you go, I know it sounds cheesy, but it's awesome.
yeah,
Do you know how many people are not living in that state of mind? So the other thing I'm hearing is it's kind of contagious.
it is.
Like, okay, if I can do that, and then I can do that, like
Mhm.
this podcast, my friend said, oh, you should do a podcast. I'm like, I want to do a podcast. I don't even listen to podcasts. And now I meet amazing women like you, and I go, holy cow, there's like a million of them. but seeing one in motion, like that day we were on Zoom and you go, this is what matters to me. I love CrossFit. I'm like, okay, I want her times a million in my world. If I had a million of you in my world, I'd be working out. Right? Because I wouldn't be surrounded by people it's to whom it's inconceivable. I would be living and affected by and pulled by what doesn't seem that far of a reach. So I'm going to say to myself and everyone, surround yourself with possibilitarians, with people who believe more is possible and see the best in you for your sake, not for their sake.
Yeah.
All right. So the pink ladies in the movie Grease, they had an oath. You got to be cool. You got to act cool. I'm like, cool. What's cool? I'm 69 years old. What's cool? So besides CrossFit, what else would you say is just cool?
Oh, wow. Being authentic. We were just talking about this. What does that mean? Because everybody's saying authentic, be your authentic self. For me, it's not being apologetic for being me. I don't have to apologize. I don't know if that's because I'm getting older, because I've had those life experiences and I deserved and earned that right to pretty much say, but not be offensive, anything I really want to say. And I think that is super cool.
That is so cool. High five on that.
Dress the way I want, be the way I want, because I have earned that right. Love it. Love
and
that.
It's the human right. Right? To be, I'm the only version of me, you're the only version of you. If I'm around people that aren't wanting that, well, I need to go find another group. Age is weird, right? Because the average 60-year-old woman in the United States, not you, because you're probably going to live longer than all of us, but the average woman in the United States lives to 86. That means if you're 60, you have 26 more years, longer than it took to have a baby, raise a baby, and send the baby to Iceland, right?
Yes.
That's 9,500 days. The fact that you would live one of those days as if the glitter is still in the bottle, right? 100% maintenance, 100% do list, and 0% confetti, 0% pride, 0% self-expression. It will have disastrous impacts on your well-being.
Absolutely.
So I just want to say, really, thank you for being you and being authentic in the coolest way ever, because there's no hold on what you can say and what you feel and how it comes out. There's no perfectionism. This is just showing up as you.
Yes.
Can we ask any more of each other than that?
Right.
That is awesome. Well, I can't wait to do all my study notes from this one. And I want to say, I'm going to make a declaration. I'm going to walk today.
You're going to walk today?
My husband works out an hour every day, 30 years military. He wouldn't go a day without it. And some days he'll go, do you ever think about walking with me? I'm like, no, not really. But just because I'm not thinking about it doesn't mean it isn't what's next for me. That goes back to sleepwalking and just staying zombied out.
Yep.
So if I can possibly be in a conversation with you and not be motivated to go walk, I would have to be a zombie.
I think you can do it.
Yeah. So if I'm going to say, hey, women, wake up and smell the coffee and get on with it, how can I say that if I don't do that myself?
So I'm going to follow up with you to see if you got your walk. The best part is holding his hand throughout the whole time. So I'm going to ask you about it.
Okay, you got a deal. Well, everybody, thanks for joining us today. And golly, 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 go
Oh,
live your life.
yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored.
Thanks for tuning in to Pink Lady Posse Podcast, where women go from what now to what's next. Come join us at pinkladyposse.com, where we share community, resources, and tools to support your next beautiful chapter. With love, light, and a little lipstick. See you next time.